Hi, Jenny, Odysseus, and the marketing team over at Ergeon. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Oceana here with G3 Agency with your free website audit for Ergeon in San Francisco, California. In this free SEO website audit provided by G3 Agency, I'm going to show you 3 to 4 things that you can do to get Ergeon in front of people searching for concrete and fence services in the Bay Area. Like I said on the phone, I don't expect anything in return for this video. I am really trying to send out as much information as I can to the business owners that need it. I do this stuff professionally and I find it makes a huge difference for my clients, and I'm trying to just make as big of a positive impact as I can this year on small businesses, locally owned, family owned businesses that are looking to grow. I know that the last couple of years have been really hard for a lot of businesses, and so this is my way of kind of putting the power back into the owner's hands. Okay, so you are welcome to do with this information what you will. Obviously, sending it over to your marketing team is totally fine. And these are some things that I think that they could improve on. And if they are not able to handle it, or if, for whatever reason you want some help from me and my team, we would be happy to talk to you about options and just see if our businesses kind of match, and a partnership, if a partnership is meant to be, then it will grow, right? So let's just jump right in. I don't want to waste your time or mine. So the first thing that I always look for on when I do a website audit is a big click to call phone number at the top, and you do have a click to call number, which is great. My only suggestion would be to have it be a sticky bar as you go down here, so that it stays right here as you come down the page. That's going to help with your the amount of people that actually call after landing on your page. But that's really the last I'm going to say about the user interaction. My focus is mostly on actually making people, like helping people get to your site to begin with. So the rest of this will be geared toward that. So the next thing I want to talk about is content on your site. So how many words are there, and are they relevant to what you do? Your words, from what I'm glancing at, seem very relevant. They make sense, but they're definitely not enough. In fact, if I click Control C and if I highlight everything with Control A and then click Control C to copy it, I can click Control V to put it in here, and I can see you have 575 words on your homepage. We recommend to our clients that they have at least 3,000 words on their homepage and 1,500 or more on their other pages, just to show Google basically that you're an expert. Google loves content and wants to see that you know what you're talking about, and it thinks that lots of words means that you know what you're talking about. So increasing content is very important. The next thing is your images. How are they being saved? So if I right click on an image and click Save Image As, I can see this image was saved as wooden fences, which is actually better than most, but it's still not quite right. What you want to do is actually resave all these images as specific key phrases that people are actually typing into Google when they're looking for your services and they're in your service area. And I'll show you not only how to find those key phrases, but I will actually show you a few that I found that you might be very interested in using yourself. So first, though, I want to introduce you to Ahrefs. This is a tool that I use to get an in-depth look into how a website's performing, and I can see that you're actually not doing too bad here. You've got 1.5 thousand people coming to your website from organic keywords each month. So that is fantastic. In fact, I can click right here and see which ones you are sitting at the top for. So we've got friendly neighborhood fence, that you're in the first position for that. So, but there's something wrong here, I can tell, because there are 80 people typing that into Google each month, and you're only getting 2.5 people to your website from being in this first position, which is extremely low. With being in the first position, you should be getting approximately 30% of this traffic, which I'm not exactly sure how many that is, but it's definitely more than 2.5, and it'll probably be around 15, 20 or something like that. So there's an issue there, and same issue here with neighbor fence agreement form. But that's not really even the biggest issue with this keyword. The issue that I see with it is that it doesn't have these very specific parts to it. A good keyword will have something that you do and a place that you do it. So for instance, if I go over here, we've got San Francisco concrete. That's got something that you do, concrete, and a place that you do it, San Francisco. So that's a good keyword to go after. And then what makes it even better is the volume and KD. So volume is how many people on average each month are typing this exact phrase, spelled just that way, into Google. And then your KD, or it stands for keyword difficulty, and it's basically on a scale from 1 to 100, how difficult does this tool Ahrefs think it would be to get to the first page of Google? And with a keyword a difficulty of 0 out of 100, you would think that would be super easy and it would just happen like overnight, but that's not how SEO works. It's not going to happen overnight no matter how easy it is, but this is going to take a lot less time and effort, and therefore money, to get to the first page of Google for a keyword like this. Whereas this one here, now this one's not a good one for you anyway, because it doesn't have anything to do with what you do, but a 78 is, if you wanted to get to the first page of that, I would say, I'm not your girl. I don't know how to do that. That's way too hard, but I can definitely help you get to the top, the first page of Google for this one, if everything, if it all works out. This is a good one to go after, and that's why I chose it to focus on for the rest of this video. But I just want to kind of scroll down here and show you there's a lot of other ones, like fencing San Francisco. Now, I don't know if that is going to be people looking for people like you who set up fences, or if they're looking for fencing classes like it thinks over here. So that one might not be a good one. Fence company might be a good one. Let's see. Bay Area Fence Factory, I don't think that's quite right, because that's probably a brand. So, you kind of have to go through these and kind of have a critical mind, think, is this actually something that someone would type into Google if they were looking for me? Driveway Gates, Los Angeles, that would probably be a really good one if you're in the mood to go to Los Angeles. Now, it's got a keyword difficulty of 15, which is a little higher than I like to go after. We really like to go after 5 and below. Those are a little quicker to get to the top 4. 10 and below is just a little, it takes a little longer. And 15, that's still within reach for an expert like my colleagues and I. We could definitely do that. But it just takes longer. It just is going to take more effort. And so if I go back over here, I want to go back over and explain how we might get you to the top. So what you want to look at is your UR and DR scores, which are actually pretty impressive. These are higher than I usually see when I do a first audit for a company. So well done. How you want to increase these scores. Now your UR score is how trustworthy Google thinks this exact page is. So in this case, your home page. And then DR is how trustworthy Google thinks your other pages and your website as a whole is. And you can see that, I can see that you've put a little more effort into ranking your home page than you have the other ones, and you caused a little bit of an imbalance here. Now that can create a little bit of hesitancy when it comes to ranking you with Google. Google will look at this and think that you are putting way more effort into this page, so these other pages might not be as legitimate. There might be something you're hiding, but this is actually not too bad. This imbalance isn't terrible, and it's probably not dragging you down too badly. But I would keep an eye on that. Make sure that you're ranking the other pages on your site as well. Just make sure that you're not ignoring them so that Google doesn't think that you're trying to pull a fast one on it. Okay, and then we have backlinks and referring domains, which is how we get these scores up higher. So a backlink is a link from any other website that goes back to your site. And then a referring domain is any website that has at least one of these links on there. So you've got 309 websites pointing to your website, a total of 814 times, which is a good start. And so, but we do want to increase that, but be careful as you increase this number that, you have a good balance of the other web pages. You want it to not just all go to your home page, but also you want to make sure that you're getting referring domains that are, that have a high DR score. So like this one with the zeros, probably not as good. Latin America Business.news. It might be decent. It might be decently related to your industry, which is good. You definitely want it to be related to your industry, but you also want it to have higher scores like these ones. This one's great, 94, and those are going to pull you up. Whereas low scoring DR, low DR scoring websites and websites that are just random and not actually not having to do with your business and industry are going to pull your your score down rather than pull it up. So you just want to be careful. Okay, so if we type in San Francisco concrete into Google, this is what we get. I just want to point out a couple of things. So this one right here will get about 30% of all of the traffic, like I was pointing out earlier. Now this is Yelp, so I'm not going to compare you to Yelp. It's kind of a different game. But basically what you want to do is, this is the first sort of, this page is really strange. Usually there's like a company up here, but no one's really trying to show up for this key phrase. So there's just a bunch of directories. So I chose this one here to compare you to because it's in second place, and I don't like to do it with Yelp. It just doesn't quite work out with comparing to Yelp the way that I have done it. So I'm going to compare you to this one. So what we do is we go, they're sitting at the top of the page that we want to sit at the top for. So what are they doing right? And what can we do better than them? Well, I can tell you right now, they don't have that much content, although they are ranking for quite a few words. They don't have a whole lot of pictures. In fact, I don't even see any pictures, so they're definitely not taking advantage of saving their images as key phrases. So that's another way we can get ahead besides just lots of content. And then if we throw them in here, you can see that they've put a lot of effort into their whole website. This DR score is very impressive, but they haven't done hardly anything to this page, this specific page. And in this case, it's not their home page, but rather it's /services/concrete contractors. So they're not going to be difficult to beat out when it comes to that. And then here's something really fun. We can click on their organic keywords and see what keywords they're showing up for. So yep, they're in the second position for this 400 volume keyword, San Francisco concrete. That's what we expected. It's got a KD of 0, right? They're getting 58 traffic from these 400, and that's because they're in the second position. They would be getting a bit more than that, probably about 1.5 times this amount if they were sitting in that first position statistically. So that's kind of numbers that you're looking at. And then you have concrete contractors San Francisco, same idea, different search term. So volume's 100, so there's 500 total just with those two keywords. Total volume, total people looking for that service in that area. And then we have another one, concrete contractor San Francisco. The only difference between these is this little S here, but it makes it a whole new term, and 80 more people are searching for it each month. And you can see how this really adds up, and it could get, if you were sitting at the top for all of these, you'd be seeing quite a bit of traffic. So that's pretty exciting, and this is kind of fun to go down and just see what else works. Now, I do want to give you a little warning about this. Concrete pourers near me. Concrete pourers might be perfectly fine, but near me isn't helpful. You really want it to say an area, specific area that you serve, because that's going to be a lot easier to rank for and a lot more helpful. These 60 people who type concrete pourers near me, even if you're sitting at the top, you wouldn't necessarily be able to help each of them, because who knows where they are if they just type near me. You want them to actually type in where you are. Okay, so this is my information to get a hold of me. Please feel free to do so. I'm running out of time. I gotta end the video, but I look forward to your feedback to see if this was helpful. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or comments. Thank you. Bye.